Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our second UMD Macedonian Global Updates. We appreciate you all who could come. And so today is Giving Tuesday, and we just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who has already supported UMD, but also to give a little background of what is Giving Tuesday. So Giving Tuesday is a global day of charitable giving that takes place annually, always on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving in the United States. And it encourages individuals to give to causes and organizations and communities that they care about, either through donations, volunteering, or other acts of kindness. So if you have not done so already, we do encourage you to give today on Giving Tuesday to United Macedonian Diaspora. Our goal for today is trying to reach $20,000, and so far we're about 68% of our goal. So really trying to do that last push before it hits midnight, and until the end of today, all donations will be matched dollar for dollar up to $5,000. So get your donations in. We really love it, and we appreciate all of your support. So a little bit more about our organization. So what is UMD and why should you donate to UMD? So UMD was founded in 2004. So we are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. And stay tuned for a bit more updates on our anniversary to come later in this session. But we're the leading non-governmental, nonprofit, non-political or educational advocacy organization promoting the interests of Macedonia and Macedonian communities worldwide. And just recently, we have revamped our website. So Gordan, if you could go ahead and screen share. Yes, so our website for the 20th anniversary has a new look, new functionality, and all around is just working a lot better than the old version. So we're happy to launch that for the 20th. If you want to go to the About Us tab. So as you can see here, UMD is a global organization. So we have entities throughout so we have an entity within the US, then Canada, Europe and Macedonia, of course, and then Sweden. And then we just recently added UMD Sweden, and then all the way across the globe in Australia as well. And then we also have a global chair in Brazil, but I'll touch more on that a little bit later in the program. But yeah, so our mission is just really to promote the culture and heritage of Macedonia and the diaspora community throughout the globe. As you can see here, if you want to hover over the leadership tab, please. You can see that we have a bunch of different, we have a set of board of directors, as well as the advisory council, global chairs, UMD Sweden, the Generation M board, staff, and interns. I know Generation M right now will have Filip join on a little bit later, but looking to fill in that board a bit more. But as you can see, we're a global organization with a lot of people behind the organization itself. So it's not just, so a lot of times on the social media, you may just see a few people, but it's really, we have a lot of people working behind the scenes as well. 2 full-time staff, but then a ton of volunteers that are what keeps our organization going and really promoting the work that we're doing. And then for funding, we have, if you want to go to the different ways to give. So right now we're pushing our GoFundMe campaign, of course, but you can also donate through our Every Action link, which is available on our website. And then as well as we also take cryptocurrency and stock, as well as we have links that you can go to for learning more about funding the future endowment and legacy giving, for more ways to give, to put UMD possibly in your will, or to give your estate assets to the United Macedonian Diaspora. So many ways to give, and feel free to find the one that works best for you. All right. So going back to UMD as the global entity. So as you can see, we're a global organization, and our membership spans across 6 different continents. So we have the UMD in the US, which is based out of Washington, DC. And then we have the UMD Global Chairs, which I touched on a little bit before, operating throughout the United States. We have a chair in DC, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles, as well as Texas, Boston, and then Brazil and London as well for outside of the US. Then outside of the US, we have our UMD entity, Canadian entity called Nova Generation. And our UMD board member, Mary, is the director of operations for UMD Canada. And one of their primary focuses is on the educational aspirations of students, especially with Macedonian heritage. And then we also have UMD Australia, which is led by our UMD board members, Vera and Stephanie. And Australia has one of the largest Macedonian populations outside of Macedonia. And so we have a very vibrant community in Australia, so we're also connected over there as well. And then Gordan, of course, I'll let you introduce yourself, but Gordan is our director for Macedonia and Europe. So if you want to go ahead and touch a bit more on UMD Macedonia and our new UMD Sweden entity and what the amazing work that you're doing over there.
Thank you very much, Emily, for the great introduction. Dobro večer od Macedonia. Good evening from Macedonia. It's my great honor to join to this second session and speak more about UMD Macedonia and Europe as a continent, as well as our chapter in Sweden that we recently opened a couple of months ago. And I'm very happy that we are progressing a lot in that sphere. So UMD Macedonia was formed back in 2022, specifically May 1st. I started as a full-time director for Macedonia and Europe as a continent, and my role over here is to try to canalize all the projects and ideas as well as needs of our people living abroad, as well as contributing to the development and integrating process of Macedonia as a country, and also helping our minority groups in the region. So as a third goal for this organization is to try to keep a service type of organization, meaning that it should answer all the needs that the government unfortunately cannot cover or cannot guarantee to our citizens and our second, third, fourth generations of Macedonians that are living abroad, as well as try to enlarge the organization on a European level and open chapters the same as we did in Sweden. As of the chapter in Sweden, I am very happy that in less than a year, we gathered a group of people that are now founders of the organization, that they can be easily seen at our new webpage. So if you press on the button who we are, and then you go to the leadership tab, and then you can see the Sweden board of directors. There are 6 of them, and I'm very happy they're all proactive and put hands on board. So UMD Sweden is definitely our first organization in the European Union, and its goal is to strengthen the ties and try to navigate the work of all Macedonian organizations over there. So it's not covering only Sweden as a country, but also Denmark, Finland, and Norway for now. The HQ or the main location is in Malmo, which is strategically positioned because a lot of Macedonia diaspora or the biggest Macedonian communities are circulating into that area. So we are very happy to announce that the membership process is starting very soon, in a couple of days from now. And also there is a gala dinner that is going to happen on February 15th, 2025, which is going to cover several Macedonian and also international holidays that is going to try to gather the Macedonian intellectual community within Malmo and Copenhagen area, as well as Trelleborg and Gothenburg, and all the places that are around Malmo. So it's going to be invited only event, and I'm very looking forward that event. So the organization itself until now had several actions or several projects, and they have donated a couple of times to the only Macedonian library in Trelleborg, books and school materials, as well as helped into organization of several events within Stockholm and with, together with the Macedonian embassy in Stockholm, gathering the parliamentary group of Sweden that is for the friendship with Macedonia. So we are entering very strong in Sweden. I'm very happy about it, and I'm very looking forward to enlarging our UMD family across Europe. Thank you very much, Emily, for giving me the opportunity to share these things with you.
Thank you so much, Gordan. We really appreciate that. So yeah, Gordan's been doing amazing work along with UMD Sweden over in Europe, and really helps to have somebody on the ground and in person in Macedonia, especially for those for some of the meetings, the high-level advocacy meetings that he's been doing. And we'll get more into our advocacy work later on in the session. But I also want to highlight the amazing work that Gordan did leading our Solun Thessaloniki Human Rights Forum that happened this past October. So part of that forum, we held it's one of the only forums to really be held in Greece and speaking about some of those minority rights issues faced by communities in that region, and really focused on highlighting the struggle and kind of the aspects of what happens when a government is not following some of those initiatives that they've signed, like the human rights, the Declaration of International Human Rights, and as well as following with EU minority rights and human rights compliances. And I don't know, Gordan, if you wanted to touch a bit more on how the Thessaloniki Human Rights Forum went, and then I know we have one of our members who was able to join on that. Mario, if you wanted to say a few words about that forum as well.
Sure, I'd love to. Gordan, you want to go first, or?
Mario, please take the floor, and I will be joining. I want to share some photos before I speak.
Okay, absolutely. Well, благодарам Gordan and добро вечер на сите од Америка. I'll speak in English just for matters of convenience here. But yes, this is actually my second time attending the forum in Solun, which yeah, obviously there's the significance of hosting it in the city where really the whole revolutionary movement started for Macedonians, which is of course Solun. But really just the opportunity to be there, it accomplished a number of different goals that might not have been even feasible 10, 15 years ago. So not only did other minority groups get exposed to the issue of what's happening with Macedonia, both in the Balkans, but also in Europe as well. A lot of great groups that we connected with that were frankly shocked at what Macedonians are going through in Greece. We were connected with Welsh activists and linguists, with the Latins from Italy, groups facing very similar struggles, but also having very inspiring stories of how they managed to survive culturally and linguistically. And just seeing almost the awe and the shock in their faces when they heard the stories of what Macedonians are going through, that this is happening in a European country, that was quite a formidable, shake in the movement. Absolutely. So not only are we connecting with those types of individuals that do have boots on the ground experience, but they also have networks that they can also leverage. But being in Greece, being in Solun, again, we were able to really start speaking to the people living there, with the younger generations, the youth there, and seeing firsthand, without all the smoke screens and news you may hear, who and what we are. I mean, there's so much distortion going on about what these crazy Skopjans want and who they are, and these radicals. And you actually have those conversations, and people are like, "Hey, what are you here for?" "Oh, we're here for this Macedonian thing." "Oh, what do you mean by Macedonia?" You start having those conversations. A lot of folks see it's not unreasonable. It's just a missing piece that they haven't been exposed to before. It's not an unreasonable thing. So it definitely does de-escalate some of the tension there, and it also does create more frankness and dialogue. I mean, I traveled to the villages there. I spoke with young people in Volden. I spoke to young people in Solun, and the page is turning. There's definitely more freeness, and there's more, I would say, engagement with those. And I think our presence there does lend itself to that. I mean, who else is going there and having these conversations? Let's be real. Macedonians are going to Solun. They're going there for the beaches. They're not really going for this. So it is coming at a crucial time. I'm sure you've seen Greece is much better. They're not where they should be when it comes to respecting some of the things going on around the Macedonian community. But our presence there is indispensable. I mean, absolutely needs to be there to continue to push the narrative of who these people are, what they are, and what they're fighting for. Because at the end of the day, it's not this extremist view that they have. And again, we also have a lot of support with some of the locals there in terms of the language school that was opened up. having the ability for young Macedonians there to learn their native language, which for some might have just been the one or two words they knew from their grandparents, but still having the ability to do so. It's something that where the progress might be incremental, but at this stage, it definitely is going to compound quite soon, especially with social media, with our approach, being diplomatic, being professional, respectful. That's ultimately what wins over hearts and minds to the movement, and that's exactly what was seen in Solun.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience, Mario, and I'm very, very happy that we somehow acknowledge the need and the room over here for an open discussion about the current situation of the minority group, something that nobody imagined that can happen in a most democratic, one of the most democratic countries in the European Union and the European region itself. And I'm very happy that this forum became a platform for many scholars, international activists, and also official representatives of minority groups within the European Union are coming and openly discussing about the positive examples and the benefits a country can have of a multilingual approach and understanding of the diversity groups that are presently living on the region within the country. So I'm very happy that this year, not like last one, this forum ended up with signing of a resolution and an action plan, which will help us create a working group in different spheres and open discussions in different topics on how we can level up these situations and once and for all discuss about benefits and progress into dealing with minority groups and understanding the diversity within a multicultural society, something that is of value to the European Union, something that is value to the Copenhagen criteria, and a lot of human rights resolutions that we follow up until today, and we agreed as an international community to follow those rules. So I'm very happy that Mario is always supporting our forum, but also international community and local actors that are contributing to the progress of this professional platform that is going to be used in the future as a cornerstone for an open discussion about minority groups in the region. And hopefully we'll be able to evaluate this forum on a much larger scale, meaning that we can transfer it to other countries as well, discussing about the situation of minority groups over there as well. So I'm very looking forward to it. Thank you very much, Emily.
Yeah, thank you so much, both Mario and Gordan. That's amazing. But yeah, just to reiterate again, these discussions are very important for bringing that awareness to a lot of people who just don't really know. When you're not there, they might not quite understand. So just having conversations with people and also hearing other people's stories and other groups and minorities who are facing similar struggles, and learning to, like Gordan said, creating those working groups so we can start building coalitions and working together for the basic goals and achieving those universal human rights that should be granted to everybody. And also want to say thank you to everybody who was able to attend either in person or virtually, and helping us make that event a success, and look out for it again next year. All right, and then moving on. So we have other ongoing projects for UMD. So we have exciting news that UMD, we're partnering with Tome and Konstantina, working on their summer youth Orthodox camps for 2025. And these camps are really important they're bringing together Macedonian children around the ages of 9 to 6 from the diaspora, and connecting them with local children, including families that may be underrepresented and in the area, and maybe can't afford going to summer camp. They help raise funds and donate so that they can have the chance to get to come to this Orthodox Christian camp, so that they can not only be with each other, but also so that they can learn about the Christian faith, church etiquette, ethics, as well as personal health and hygiene, and just also having fun, going swimming, making connections, meeting people. Some of these children they may not have that support system at home. So this camp really provides them an opportunity to be with other children and with adults who are just really displaying their appreciation for them and just really helping them out to learn about the Orthodox faith, but also learn more about Macedonia, their culture, their roots as well. And this camp will be happening from July 18th to July 25th this summer. And UMD is helping out. I don't know if Gordan, if you wanted to speak again a little bit more to the work you're doing, but we also have a unique opportunity. So I'll be talking about the Birthright Macedonian program in a second, but Birthright participants will have the opportunity this year to also join on, say, a week later and be camp counselors to also get that experience to get immersed more within Macedonia, but also get to meet some of the children from the area. So Gordan, if you want to go ahead. I know you've been on a bunch of those meetings.
Thank you very much, Emily. So this is a new initiative that we are starting from this year. We are very happy that Toma and Konstantina are continuous members and supporters of UMD, and they are the main initiators of such idea and project, and we are very happy to cooperate with them on this initiative. So it basically we are going to work on organizing together the next year's camp, and Konstantina is in Macedonia. They are living in Switzerland. This week we are meeting a lot of official actors in Macedonia that we believe that can help into the development process of the project itself. So it's a great initiative. It's something that we can transfer always to the next generations and teach them on how it's to morally live in these times of dynamics and fast movement. So definitely, and this is something that came up as an idea of enlarging the Birthright project that maybe we can touch upon later a little bit more on. But yes, it's for younger generations of students, and we are very happy to be partners in such project.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and then another project that UMD is working on again this year that we did last year is UMD Aid. So similar to last year, we're going to be donating aid to a hospital in Macedonia, and the materials are going to be transferred from the World Medical Relief Facility that's located in Michigan, and getting that transportation to Macedonia. So UMD funds are going to be, so today, some of the funds that we're raising for Giving Tuesday, as well as towards the end of the year giving, these funds will be going towards this initiative. And we're hoping to have those supplies, those medical equipment delivered by the spring of 2025. So coming up, but we have UMD donors helping out and members who are working on this initiative. We also have a UMD Michigan resident who volunteers with the UMD with the World Medical Relief Foundation. So he's been helping with communications there. And then as Gordan's showing on the screen now, we had a great meeting with Dr. George Sampson during this past September to meet with him. And he actually has visited Macedonia a few times, and so he has a special place in his heart for Macedonia, as well as just general advocacy and helping out with those initiatives. So we're going to have more promotional material coming out just to highlight that project and the work that we're planning on doing. So stay tuned for more information on that to come. But did you want to add in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this initiative came from a young Macedonian that I really, really appreciate. His motivation to do this all the time, and his name is Alexander Bejanovski. He is from the Bitove region, and I'm very proud that he's a very great friend of UMD. He's a great contributor to the World Medical Relief Initiative, and I'm very proud that we're doing this together with him.
Awesome. Yes, we really appreciate him helping out, as well as Gordan, and then our other member, Mishko, as well, has been working with us as well to figure out, and the donations will be going to his hometown in Macedonia. If Gordan, I apologize, I don't speak Macedonian, so Gordan, if you wanted to pronounce the name that's going to, it's
Until everything is done, we're gonna hold off for the name. We're
Okay.
working on a specific city in Macedonia, and so I will be very happy to announce the name of the city in the upcoming period.
Gotcha. Sorry, it's behind the scenes, but that'll be coming soon. So stay tuned for when we announce that coming up. All right. So getting back more into UMD programs. So what does UMD do? What else do we offer? So those are some of the projects we've been doing and a few of the programs, but we also have the Macedonian language courses that are coming up, and those are very important to just preserving the Macedonian linguistic heritage as well. And our next session will be happening starting January 8th of this coming January, so 2025, and then going throughout next year. So if you're interested in checking out and learning more about that, Gordan's going to screen share for a moment. But yeah, so I've heard the language courses have been going really well for the past. This was launched in about a year or two ago, I want to say, and then so it's been good feedback so far, and we have classes for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And they run for about an hour twice a week with a live instructor through Zoom. So you can do it from anywhere, which makes it really convenient. And if you do ever have to miss a session, feel free to email the instructor and can always figure out another time to meet and make up that class or to join on during a later session for that information. But you can find the registration link is located on our website. Then for other UMD programs, we also have the 40 Under 40, which is a prestigious global Macedonian Diaspora award that just recognizes Macedonian individuals under the age of 40 who are making significant contributions worldwide. And we're taking applications for that already, so you can go online to our website under the 40 Under 40 to find the webpage and submit your applications through there. And then the award ceremony, so the deadline, I'll have the deadline coming up in a minute, but I can, yeah. So the deadline for that is going to be March 28th, 2025, and then we'll have the award ceremony the following, so that this fall, fall 2025 in Washington, hopefully in Washington, D.C. Location may be subject to change, but as of now, we're looking at Washington, D.C. And then, so then moving on from. Okay, and then so we also have more youth-oriented programs and internship opportunities. And Filip, are you still on the call? I was wondering if you could jump on and talk a bit more about Generation M and the great work that you have been doing.
Of course, yeah. Thank you,
thank you so
Emily. Of course, thank you, Emily, for all the work you've done, and Gordan, and everybody on this call. I think the main question for Generation M is how do we plug in the youth to all of these programs? If a young person wants to get involved, either let's say late in high school, in college, a young professional, how do they get on that pathway to become not just a UMD member, not just a representative, a board member, a potential leader of UMD? And I think the best way to do that is through what we've built as Generation M, which is the youth arm of UMD that was conceptualized at a few UMD conferences before my time at UMD. But a little story of how it got started was about a decade ago when I was on one of the UMD fellows here in Washington, D.C., which is where I now live. A group of us were charged with creating this youth initiative, sort of a global movement for young Macedonians who want to get involved with the cause, want to advance what we promote. And the best way to do that is to organize ourselves, start small. We started in the main population centers in North America, in Detroit and Toronto, with a leadership group that a couple of us who are on this call that we're a part of. And we just started doing events. We got people together. We got to know other Macedonians young Macedonians from the communities. that also wanted to get involved. We had launches that turned into leadership conferences. We had socials, that turned into helping out with larger UMD events and galas and masquerades. And we eventually expanded into Europe, in Australia, all around the world, where any young Macedonian who wants to get involved, which is, I feel like, a lot of where our passion starts, is right. Even if it's instilled by our parents or not, it's when we're young, when we're energized, and we really start learning what it means to be a Macedonian. And when you're young, you can use that as a catalyst to just sort of give everything you can, given that you have a lot more time while you're young in college or young professional, for the cause. So over the past 10 years, we've done just that. We've had events. We've helped bolster programs such as the scholarship. We helped with Birthright Macedonia. We had students go into the internship. We built another internship, the Jotevski program, which is brand new, and we need to keep building into that, where we can get young people here in DC and in the other halls of power around the world. And what we want to do for the next 10 years is to double that. We just had some conversations with members of the young community around the world of who's going to be the next leadership committee of that, and hopefully an announcement will be coming within the new year of how do we take the past decade of success and keep growing off of that. Who are going to be the next UMD board members? Who are going to be the next young Macedonian leaders that have benefited from these programs? Who are we going to get to send to Macedonia and Birthright Macedonia? Who are we going to promote the language classes to? And who can we send to DC on an internship to start building political power here for Macedonians? So that's pretty much the gist of what our young leadership program is all about. And when we hope that will come with the next generations, we keep building and building, because without getting our young people involved, there's no future for UMD.
Thank you so much, Filip. Yes, Filip has been doing amazing work behind the scenes with a lot of the Gen M work and in front of the scenes as well. But we're really excited to have those new leaders announced soon in January and start promoting that as well as we look towards the end of the year and especially into the new year. And touching on that, if we want to stay on the internship page, we have UMD offers 2 internship programs. So we have the Washington, D.C. internship, and this one, both our internship programs are offered year round. And so we have summer, fall, spring cohorts of students joining us and helping out with UMD. And they're really just geared towards individuals who are passionate about international affairs, human rights, and advocacy. And they gain really valuable experience and hands-on experience as well, going to Congress within the halls of the legislator. Filip actually took our current intern under the wing, Mustafa, and took him around on the Hill and meeting with congressional offices recently. And then Gordan and I as well had the chance to go meet with some of those congressional offices along with our intern, Mustafa. And Mustafa unfortunately has class tonight, so the perks of being an intern, but also having some student obligations during the program. But he works for this semester. He worked for UMD full time through the day, and then has his night class obligations. And he joined on earlier and was able to give. So if you didn't catch it in this session, feel free to go back to our video recording, which is posted online, and check out what he had to say about his internship opportunity. But I was a former intern as well, and this is how I learned about Macedonia and the Macedonian American community throughout the United States. And so the internship program really just does, it helps students, giving them the skills necessary for succeeding in their academic as well as their professional careers, as well as just learning about Macedonia for the Washington, D.C. internship, because a lot of students come in knowing a bit about Macedonia, but like we touched on earlier with the Human Rights Conference, a lot of the issues going on within with issues like the PRESPA agreement and the name change and other constitutional changes that Macedonia has faced, as well as some of the EU accession problems. A lot of them don't really know too much about it coming in, but after they leave, they gain a lot of that knowledge and awareness, as well as just a passion for Macedonia and helping out the community as well. And then, like Filip mentioned before, we also have the Česká Congressional Internship Program, which is geared towards Macedonian American students who are recent graduates and are interested in the legislative process and interning in Washington, D.C. with a member of Congress. And we've had Victoria was one of our recent participants in that experience, and you can read a bit more about her experience with working for Representative Debbie Dingell in the House of Representatives. And so we really appreciate the work that our interns do and how they help with our organization as well. So yeah, and then another program that UMD also offers geared towards youth is Bright Minds Macedonia. And this is supporting brilliant Macedonian students and helping pave the way for their academic and professional triumphs. And just another initiative that we have for just really helping empower our youth and empower the youth, growing youth, and giving them the skills necessary that they can so they can succeed in whatever career path that they want. We also have mentorship programs, which are a bit of a mix. So it helps gears toward the youth, but also we also have mentors to help out with those. So those programs are just giving young professionals guidance with their educational and career path. And we're looking for people. So if anybody is interested, we have an application, or you can reach out to info@umdiaspora.org to learn more about if you would be willing to give your time to help with these mentorship programs, or if you want to be mentored by someone you have questions about education paths, career paths, especially maybe related to being Macedonian and Macedonian career holders as well. And then we also offer, UMD also runs scholarship programs. So with help from through Nova Generation, we have the Bitove Scholarship, which is a merit-based scholarship for young and promising students in the Macedonian diaspora. And it's just really helping Macedonians to reach their career goals. And this is, again, through Nova Generation. And we just released recently, had a press release to acknowledge our 2024, recipients for this year. So make sure you check that out and read that article as well. And then I just wanted to highlight, so I know that there was a lot of talk about applications there, so some key dates and deadlines. So the Birthright Macedonia 2025 is going to be, oh, I didn't touch on Birthright yet, sorry. Let me go backtrack a little bit, I skipped over it. But yes, Birthright Macedonia is also one of our biggest programs, and this was founded by UMD Advisory Council member Peter Dallas, and just really with the goal to connect youth back to their homeland and to learn more about their culture and history, as well the history, heritage, as well as the history of Macedonia, and as well as gain internship experience and make these lifelong connections in Macedonia. So just really helping those generations of Macedonians being able to reconnect with their roots so that they don't lose that heritage in that aspect. And Gordan, I know you host the interns in Macedonia, so if you don't mind speaking a bit more to that program and your experience with the past years that you've been working on.
Thank you very much, Emily. So Birthright Macedonia is a unique project that came out almost a decade ago by, as you mentioned, our advisory council member, Peter Dallas, and we are proudly organizing together with one of the oldest non-for-profit organizations in Macedonia called the Macedonian Center for International Cooperation, and I'm very grateful for their support all these years, and we're happy that we're going to host a Birthright Macedonia 2025 program next year as well. We've already had our first applicant this year, and we're very happy about that. So it's Birthright Macedonia is a 3-week program where we basically bring together students from all across the world that have a Macedonian heritage, no matter whether they have already been to Macedonia, they have never been to Macedonia, whether they speak Macedonian or not. And we try to find them a professional interested in the fields they study, and try to give them an opportunity to experience the Macedonian working culture, but also to visit some of the key places in Macedonia, such as Skopje, Ohrid, and Galičnik, to experience the Galička svadba. But most important thing out of this program is to feel the Macedonian living culture, as well as to create long life friends from the group. So I'm very happy that next year we're again gonna organize this program. I'm very looking forward to meeting the new participants to the program itself.
Thank you so much, Gordan. Yes. And so Birthright Macedonia, we're having an info session for that this Friday, December 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to join on that, or tell anybody you know who might be interested to come. And the Birthright program will be taking place from June 27th to July 18th. And the deadline to apply will be May 16th. And then other deadlines also to keep in mind. So the Macedonian language course, the first session for 2025 starts on Wednesday, January 8th, and that'll run till March 4th. So make sure to sign up for that soon. And then 40 under 40, like I said before, deadline application for that is going to be March 28th, 2025, and the ceremony being held in the fall of 2025. And then applying for a Česká congressional internship or the Washington, D.C. internship applications we are always taking applications, and we're actually in the cycle right now of process of interviewing internship candidates. So feel free to reach out to us for that, or tell your friends who might be interested, or anybody you know, to sign up for that as well. And then touching a bit more on our advocacy efforts. So looking forward into 2025 a bit more, and looking at that. So recently, UMD, we have been meeting with a bunch of congressional offices throughout the summer and then into September as well. And there was just the recent elections within the US. So we had a bit of turnover within our congressional caucus, but we still have around mid-20s, 20 members on our congressional Macedonian caucus. And that caucus has been huge support for the Macedonian cause and pushing through one of our resolutions, which is the Macedonian American Heritage Month resolution. So just trying to get at the federal level a bill that's acknowledging that there's the 500,000 Macedonian Americans within the United States, and the amazing contributions that they're making towards the country, and especially in the business sector, in science, health, arts, sports, entertainment, and just something that a lot of the offices, I think that's been the biggest thing for me within these meetings and at these offices, is just a lot of these offices don't quite know about Macedonia, what's going on. I mean, they definitely have awareness, but it's good to have it from a personal perspective from the UMD organization to really speak to those matters, and to talk to them about why this bill is important to our community as well. And we're optimistic, we're hopeful for next administration as well. We have a few Macedonian supporters that will be a few former congressmen that will be moving towards the executive branch, and hopefully will help out with some of our initiatives from that, because our advocacy has primarily focused on the legislator branch. So we'll be looking to expand it hopefully as well, seeing if we can get some meetings within the executive branch, getting some push from within that area as well. But just overall, some of the initiatives that we'll be pushing on that end is just looking to strengthen U.S.-Macedonian relations, advance human rights for Macedonian minorities, negotiating a double tax treaty, pushing for a U.S. visa waiver program, as well as just the respect for Macedonian self-determination and identity. And then again, once again, passing that Macedonian American Heritage Month. So if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me as well. My email is on the UMD website, and then we have the action alerts, UMD action alerts page on our website as well. So yeah, and then I wanted to just give some time. So I know we're nearing the end, but if Filip is still on, and then if anybody else wants to join in as well, just wanted to hear a little bit more from some of our members and our participants, from our board member, Filip, as well as just anybody else, if you want to jump in or speak, please raise your hand or feel free to put something in the chat. But Filip, could you touch more a bit about, I know you discussed a little bit earlier, but discussing more on why you got involved with UMD, what kind of keeps you going in the face of challenges, and then again, like what excites you the most about UMD's future and our plans coming up?
Yeah, that's a great question, Emily. Well, what keeps me motivated is the work that you guys are doing, you, Emily, Gordan. I mean, it's the ways I have seen UMD grown in the past decade is just incredible. Especially as like the first truly professional global Macedonian diaspora organization. That I think is the biggest reason for folks to get involved. At least my story was, I was in high school. I was a bit involved in the church, but I wanted to, get myself involved with the broader community, the broader global community, just outside of Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm from. And I went to a presentation by Meto, who was president at the time and co-founder of UMD, who was traveling around the country and doing presentations on UMD at churches. Went to it, saw it was amazing. I was like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking to get involved with. It was awesome learning about all of the work UMD was doing, and especially at that time when they were offering internships, I think it was just perfect timing on what I wanted to figure out to do with my career. It propelled me into a career here in DC and policy and politics. So it not only benefited me greatly, but also, the other young people that got involved from just the relationships that we've had from the greater youth community. First, it was the internship, then it was Generation M, then it was becoming a board member on UMD, and all of these programs. If I can just like spotlight Birthright Macedonia as well, when Peter Dallas, had that idea and he wanted a group of young people to help to one, go on the first trip in 2015, and two, have a partner organization spearhead it, which ended up being, UMD, the only organization that could spearhead it throughout the world. These sorts of initiatives wouldn't be possible without UMD, without a global presence, without a professional presence. And I think that's the biggest reason why, if folks are a proud Macedonian, or even not a Macedonian, just an ally, if they're looking to get involved with our cause, which is a just cause, a noble cause, this is the one organization that you can devote your time and commitment and effort to. If you want to make a difference throughout the world for Macedonians, UMD is the organization. That's what keeps me going. That's why I volunteer my time. That's why everybody else on this call and who'll be listening to this call will volunteer their time. And it's been just incredible over the past decade being involved with it, and looking to be more involved with it in many decades to come.
Thank you, Filip. We really appreciate that. And Filip has been doing amazing work throughout his time with UMD since he started. And we really appreciate him sticking with the organization and the long-term goals and the future goals that he has for UMD and everywhere he wants to take UMD, especially with helping out with finding the next leaders for Generation M and building up, and as well as with our interns, helping with them as well and taking them under his wing when he's in DC. So Meadow, why don't I pass it over to you again for some words and why UMD's, as one of the UMD's co-founder and president of United Macedonian Diaspora, just a bit more about your experiences as well as anything else you wanted to touch on about United Macedonia Diaspora.
Thank you, Emily, so much, and Gordan for this excellent and thorough presentation on UMD's work globally, and on the ground, in particular in Macedonia. I want to thank Mario and Filip, who were former interns of mine in Washington. And to watch them expand in their careers over the past decade has been a treat, and I'm looking forward to seeing where their path leads them. And I think having witnessed about 150 or so interns through UMD when I was full-time, just is a joy. It was, we loved helping, make sure that they have the skills necessary to take them to the next level in their educational and professional careers. And so, UMD, the biggest thing is investing in the future of Macedonians and our community. A lot of people may not know, but when I was in high school, I'm going to share a really brief story. My father passed away from cancer, and my mom was a single mother trying to put two kids through college. And I applied for a Macedonian businessman's scholarship, sort of within New Jersey, and time for the scholarship ceremony, the date, and a bunch of us Macedonians in the class applied for it, and time came for that ceremony, and nobody received the scholarship. And we asked the advisor, what's going on? What happened? And they said, well, unfortunately, the Macedonian community has pledged 3 times in a row that they would provide a scholarship, and they did not. And so it was very sad that here's, a dozen or so students that could have benefited from assistance. I definitely could have benefited from assistance. And so I made it, something of a goal when getting involved in UMD to set up a scholarship. And I'm really grateful to the late John Bitove and the Bitove family for helping to set up the Bitove Scholarship that has now, contributed over, close to $200,000 in aid to Macedonian heritage students, not just within the diaspora, but from Macedonia studying abroad. And so this is something that I'm really proud of. And Birthright, Filip was in our first class, and we've had 8 classes, and Gordan really spearheads this program together with our partner Yasmina and MCIC there in Skopje. But this program is truly remarkable, and I wish that existed when I was a college student, to go to Macedonia to live with a host family or live with other like-minded students and work in a Macedonian institution. So I'm going to conclude there. I'm really proud of the work that UMD is doing. I'm truly proud of the work that Gordan and Emily are doing every day, together with our intern Mustafa, and the work that they're going to continue doing, thanks to the generous support of those of you that are on this call and those of you that are going to listen to this conversation afterwards, when we post it on social media and whatnot. UMD is funded by private donors like myself and others on this call. We don't receive government funding, and so we really depend on our volunteers and our individual donors. And so I want to thank everyone that's contributing and supporting our 20th anniversary campaign. Emily and Gordan, you have a great background. I have my dad's hometown of Kičova in my background, but I'm really proud of the work that UMD is doing. And so thank you all for being part of this conversation, this path, and looking forward to seeing where UMD goes starting 2025 and beyond. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Meadow. Really appreciate that. So yeah, thanks again. And then I wanted to open the floor to Gordan, if you wanted to say a few words too as well for why UMD matters to you, and what you're excited for the future. And then I know we're nearing the end, but I do want to leave time too if anybody else has anything they want to say or questions at the end.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emily. I'm truly grateful, and it's truly an honor to be part of the UMD family, to act as equal, and to be connected with all Macedonians worldwide. I'm very, very excited for the things that are going to come in the future. We are working constantly on the progress of this organization, and we are the only, I would say, international contributors outside the governmental work that are focusing on the Macedonian rights, Macedonian representation, and value the acknowledgements and all the contributions that Macedonians are doing worldwide in the countries that they live. I'm definitely excited and very looking forward to our upcoming projects. And 2025 is going to be an exciting year for our organization, and I'm very looking forward to welcoming you all in, our beautiful Macedonia.
Thank you, Gordan. We appreciate that. I think breaking up a little bit there at the end. But yes, we really appreciate it. And I know Gordan's based in Macedonia right now, so it's very late for him there. So we really appreciate him being able to join on the call and to speak with you all, as well as talk about our initiatives and everything. So if there's any questions or anybody else wants to speak, but then I'll do a quick wrap up if there's nothing. I'll give a moment. Okay, seeing that there's none, I just wanted to say thank you again to Gordan. Thank you as well to Filip and Mario for speaking a bit about their experiences, as well as the Solun Human Rights Conference and other programs and initiatives that UMD is hosting. And then as always, thank you to Meadow for his support and just really putting in all of his blood, sweat, and tears into this organization and the passion behind it. I've really appreciated UMD as well, just to say a few words. And everything that Meadow and Gordan and all the others at UMD have done for me and working with them all. So it's a great organization. And again, today is Giving Tuesday and we still have a few hours left. So if you want to donate, and if you haven't done so already, we really would appreciate your donation so we can continue to host these programs, events, advocacy, fund our advocacy work as well. But also wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who has donated already and everybody who has given their support either through monetary donations or through other ways of volunteering and helping out. And if you want to learn more about how you can get involved, feel free to go on our website and contact us and or email me directly or Gordan as well. But again, really appreciate everybody here tonight for joining on our call and to celebrate with us the 20th anniversary of UMD and Giving Tuesday in general. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your nights.